Well, welcome everybody. We are having an unboxing bonanza, a literal bonanza, because we got all of these boxes right here that have arrived at the workshop and we need to get them open. But we're only going to do one per night. So we're going to do one of these tonight, the next one tomorrow night, and then the other one on Wednesday night. So help me pick it. Help me pick which one we're going to do. The one right on top here is going to be a Centennial featherweight that I purchased, and it's out of Massachusetts. The one down here is from London, England, and it's a mystery machine coming to the workshop for repair. And this one over here is from Hamburg, Germany, and it's a machine that initially I was going to restore for the customer. And then as we looked at other options that worked out best for him and best for me, I ended up purchasing the machine from the customer in Germany, and he shipped it all the way to the workshop. And I'll give you a big hint. It's known in most circles of VSM as the Queen of Singers. So we've got the Queen of Singers from Hamburg, Germany, a mystery machine from London, England, and a Centennial featherweight 221. So just type in the chat if you'd be so kind. Should we go with box number 1 tonight, box number 2, or box number 3? All right, I'm going to pick out some more music while you're typing in the chat. And if the moderators would be so kind as to help me tabulate what the votes are, then I'll move forward with either box 1, box 2, or box 3. Hi, Emma. Hey, Paula. Hey, Roz. Good to see you, Roz. Also, we have my friend Thalia. And Joel. Hey, Joel. Hi, Paula. Well, it looks like Paula has done a rough count. If everyone agrees, it looks like box number 3 from Germany, from Hamburg, Germany, is the one that will open tonight. And then I'll do another unboxing for the other 2 remaining machines tomorrow night. So tomorrow night, you'll be able to pick either box number 1 or box number 2, and we'll go forward with that. Yeah. Hey, Dr. T. Welcome, Dr. T. All right, so I'm going to move box number 1 out of the way. And box number 2 from London, England. And so we have box number 3 from Hamburg, Germany. And it looks like it came by way, or at least came through Frankfurt. Yeah, right there, Frankfurt, Deutsche Post. And I'm so pleased I didn't have to pay any customs on it at all. There's the customs form right there. Yay, yay! And it came by a premium DHL. I don't know if anyone has ever used DHL before, but they did a spectacular job getting this box all the way from Hamburg, Germany to the States in a period of only about 6 days. And that's amid COVID and everything else. So, and some of you have seen the trailers that I do sometimes at the beginning to premieres and that. And if you've ever seen the one of Robert's machines that he has in his collection, it shows an opening shot of him, kind of a dignified looking gentleman with glasses. And then it shows a series of his machines. I'll set up another one to do that as a trailer again, so you can see his machines if you don't remember it. But he had reached out. The plan was brand new paint, or at least clear coating on this machine, and then I would ship it back to him in Hamburg, Germany, after I got done with all of that and the mechanical, the electrical, all of that stuff. And he was ultimately wanting to sell the machine anyway. And as we crunched the numbers, it became apparent that it made a lot more sense if he would do a private listing of it on eBay Germany or whatever it is. It's the German version of eBay. And then I would make my offer on it, which we had already pre-agreed on an amount for the machine, recognizing that I would have to still do all the work I was planning to do anyway. And so he listed it. I made my offer. He accepted my offer. And the rest is history. So I'm excited to see. He said, Scott, he said, I love your packing method, but I used my own. I hope that's okay. I said, well, it's up to you. So we'll see how Robert ended up packing it. And then we'll see kind of what this machine looks like. I know it's going to need clear coat work, but all in all, he's very, very meticulous about his machines. So I'm expecting a spectacular 222K, a queen of singers that I will be preparing for sale. Yep. Tickle, tickle, tickle. If you've been wanting a queen of singers, it might be in this box all the way from Hamburg, Germany. How exciting. Oh, I love it. All right. Well, let's get busy. And we'll do the same thing tomorrow night with either box 1 or 2. And then finally, Wednesday night, we'll unbox the final machine, whether it ends up being the mystery machine from London, England, that I'm going to be servicing and repairing, or it might be that Centennial 221. We'll see. Oh, wow. So I didn't realize this. I feel a little bit bad now. It looks like Robert had to pay customs to send the machine from Germany to the US, and it turned out to be around 142 euros. Could someone do the calculations on what 142 euros comes out to be in US? 142 euros is what the customs were for the machine to leave Germany. So they apparently hit the Germans. If they're selling something to someone like me in the US, they hit the Germans with the customs before it can even leave the country. So Robert paid 142. It's actually 142.99. So you can just round it up to 143, I guess. 143 euros is what Robert ended up paying right down there. Wow. I'm sorry about that, Robert. I guess that's out of our control, isn't it? That's out of our control. So it looks like the consensus is it's right around $160, somewhere in that realm, around 160. And the Germans are already, I know this from having lived there for 3 years, the Germans already are paying taxes that are just crazy. So the government is going to get their own, aren't they? They're going to get their own. I guess it's like the IRS in the United States. Oh, I see. It's a flap within a flap is kind of what we're working with here. So does anyone watching this live stream right now, since box number 3 ended up getting picked, which is the Queen of Singers, does anyone already own a 222K? Does anyone already own a featherweight convertible? I'd just be curious. Type it in the chat. Everyone will be envious of you because, again, during the 8 years that they made this machine, over 8 years of production in Scotland is the only place they made the Queen of Singers. They only made about 100 to 110,000 of them. That sounds like a lot of machines, folks, but figure it out. That's like between 10 to 15,000 machines a year only of this particular model of Singer featherweights. Incredibly rare, ridiculously rare. And the other thing you might be curious about, and I was chatting with my dear friend Emma earlier today, and I told her I couldn't help it. I said, I ended up buying that 222K from Robert instead of restoring it for him and sending it back to him in Hamburg, Germany. It was just cost prohibitive once we looked at the real numbers with my work and everything else. And she ended up saying a 222K is like the unicorn of Singers. It just is. And so I'd just be curious if anyone else has a unicorn already. If anyone already has a unicorn like this, just be curious. Emma has one. Emma, that's why you were asking the question. Oh my gosh. But what I was leading up to, and I get all excited when I'm doing an unboxing. Unboxings are just exciting, aren't they? It's like Christmas morning. This one that Robert has is set up already with an American original featherweight motor, so I don't have to look at replacing this motor on this machine, which is great for me and it's great for the future owner of it as well. Oh, Robert. He gave me a really cool postcard of Hamburg, Germany. Doesn't that look like a spectacular city? You know what? I don't even know if I did the calculation, but does anyone know how far it is from Hamburg, Germany to Oconto, Wisconsin? How many miles are we talking? How many miles for this postcard leaving Robert's house in Hamburg, Germany to get here to the workshop in Oconto? I'd just be curious. Oh, and then he wrote a little note on the back. Let's read it together. This is the first time I'm seeing it, so we'll have a chance to read it together. Dear Scott, I wish you and your family a very happy and healthy new year. I hope the machine is in order. The keys are taped on the lid. Best wishes and what is that word? Oh, and kind regards, Robert. So, very thoughtful note. Made in Germany. These are also, everything you can buy postcards and they're coming as if they're coming from another country and they're not even made in that country. Well, this card was actually made in Germany, in Deutschland. Robert is he's a top shelf guy, much like my friend Alex Askarov over in the UK. Such a privilege to meet outstanding people like many of you that are in this live chat right now. You're top notch folks. Total class, Robert. I've got to look at the chat because I wonder how far it is from Hamburg, Germany to the workshop. 4,000, holy mackerel. 4,173 miles for this postcard and this Queen of Singers to come to the workshop. So I saw that my dear friend Thalia, Paula is saying it might be a little bit less, but it's over 4,000 miles, folks. So the primary difference between the Featherweight 221 and the Featherweight 222K is, first of all, where the machine was made. The Featherweight 222K, the Featherweight convertible, was made only in Scotland for a period of 8 years. Whereas the Featherweight 221, which does not have the free arm function that this machine does. With this machine, you can slide the bed off and you've got access to a free arm with a featherweight. So that's really the unique distinction. Is the standard featherweight is a tilt bed machine. This featherweight, the whole free arm comes off. It also has the tilt bed, but the whole free arm can come off, and then or the bed rather, the whole bed can come off, and then all of a sudden you've got a free arm sewing machine. So that really is the big distinguishing point. Along with, they only made about 100,000 to 110,000 of these featherweight convertibles, the 222K. They made about 3 million of the standard featherweight machines. A few less if you're talking about centennial models that would have come out in the centennial year of Singer. Does anyone know the centennial year of Singer? What year was that they presented centennial machines like the featherweights that were either going to open up tomorrow night or Wednesday night? So hopefully that answers Thalia's question. Yep, Dr. T is correct. Kilbowie, Scotland. Absolutely. So they made the other Singers in other locations, such as Elizabethport, New Jersey. They made this machine only in Kilbowie, Scotland. And those of you that are already subscribers to this channel, you know that on the landing page of this YouTube channel, I've got a video that takes us on a tour of the Kilbowie, Scotland factory. And if you're already a subscriber, you can always search it. Just say Kilbowie, Scotland tour or something like that. And you'll be able to take a tour of the factory back in the day when this machine, in all likelihood, would have been made. So it's kind of neat. It's kind of fun to do that tour. I think some of you have taken the tour several times. So okay, if somebody put down 1951, then you nailed it. You nailed it. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Singer celebrated their centennial year in 1951. So they started in 1851, and 100 years later they had the big party. They had the big party, and they did centennial badge marks on a number of their machines, not just the featherweight, but they did it on pretty much any other machine that you could name. And it really is an incredible distinction if you can get a Singer machine with that centennial badge mark. Obviously, when the 222K came out in 1953, that centennial anniversary had already occurred. So you will not find a 222K with a centennial badge mark. So if you're really into the centennial badge marks, like a number of you are, then you'll want to look at one of those other unboxings that's going to occur either tomorrow night or on Wednesday night. So, yeah. All right. So let me start taking this stuff out. And it looks like I'm seeing a new person in attendance as well, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we have I'll let the moderators handle it. We've got a couple of moderators here, but it looks like the one that has kind of the turquoise um, highlight in front of their name, I believe that's another new person. I'd be curious where they're from, aren't you? So over 4,000 miles for this machine to get to the workshop. And I'll tell you one thing, I could not have walked that in 6 days, that's for sure. Let me put on some more music for us. Okay, I'm going to get busy on this. So Robert is a proponent of styrofoam. Nothing wrong with using styrofoam as an extra cushion barrier around a sewing machine when you're shipping it. But again, I would put packing tape around it just so that it doesn't start to break up and get brittle. There's little pieces of it already I can see in the bottom of the box, and that's the problem with this type of material is it does have a tendency, especially as it ages, to get more and more brittle. So if you use this stuff, go ahead and wrap around it this way and this way with a packaging tape, and it'll really make this that much stronger and less likely to break. So So the only thing I'll show you is this is part of the styrofoam that Robert had packed around the machine, but in the bottom of this cardboard box, there really isn't anything in the way of padding that I can see. It's just the flaps of the cardboard. So again, when you're packing a machine, especially when it's going to be traveling over 4,000 miles, it's always a good idea to put padding on the bottom. Even if that machine is padded inside of that plastic case that you just saw me take out, that I'm going to put up here in just a few seconds. So that would be just a suggestion for any of you that might be shipping machines to the workshop or otherwise. Always create a nice, soft, cushiony ride on the bottom, because if this box is going in and out of DHL trucks, it's most likely that bottom is going to be hitting cement or metal, and that shock wave goes all the way through the cardboard box into the container, into that queen of singers that is concealed inside of that little box. So you see what I'm saying? It's like the shock wave thing. Just create a nice cushy ride for it on the bottom. This is like a puzzle box. Right at the end of the music. How perfect was that? This really is kind of a neat box, though, isn't it? I don't know what I'm going to do with this box. I guess, yeah, I could always try to reuse it again, for sure. Put on some more music. Oh my goodness. This is an original 222 case, and it looks like it's brand new. Excuse me. The way Robert forms his letters, I'm having a little bit of trouble reading this, but he's indicating that it looks like it was born. You know what? I won't tell you. I won't tell you yet. I'll have you look it up. That would be fun. Yeah. So we've got a thin layer of bubble wrap that Robert kind of slid into this plastic case and then slid the featherweight case into it. You guys know me. I would have gone with probably, especially with the Queen of Singers, probably would have gone with about 4 layers of this. But let's see how it turns out. Like I say, sometimes a teacher, always a student. So we'll see. Robert's a real smart guy. See if his packing method was effective in getting this machine here without any damage, hopefully. But you can see that thin little layer of bubble wrap is the only protection inside of the case, and then there was no protection really in the bottom of the cardboard box. So I always say you hope for the best, but you plan for the worst. So to the new owner eventually of this 222K, it's kind of like Paula Noel just experienced with her 401A and Sunny before her with her 404. You better drink an energy drink and maybe even take a nap before you unbox one of mine, because it's going to be nearly bulletproof. So cool case, but I would have probably bolstered that packing a little bit more. Yeah. All right. So again, you're dealing with a foot controller, and this is also US rated as well. I understand that these machine cases were designed where you can slide that foot controller into the top, like you just saw me slide it out of there, which is wonderful. It's a wonderful convenience if you're going to a quilting retreat, if you're going to a friend's house to show off your 222K. But when you're shipping something like this, and certainly when I ship it to the new owner eventually, you always want to pad the foot controller so that you can treat it like it's fragile, because it is. So I would not recommend, if you're going to be shipping a featherweight somewhere, whether it's a 222K or a 221, 221-1, don't put it in this little carriage here to ship it, because then it's just kind of suspended and getting bounced up and down. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's fairly tight in there, it's going to be jostling up and down. Stretch wrap it, bubble wrap it, stretch wrap it again, like you've seen me do, and then just put it into that tote separately from the machine, and just flag it for the for the individual. That's what I'm going to do anyway, because these things they've got a almost a ceramic innard on them, and that can get cracked. You remember recently on Facebook I showed you that Japanese clone machine, I believe, that had a crack all the way through that porcelain innard inside of that foot controller. So part of that can happen when it's getting bounced up and down like that. So put some more music on. Ooh, that's a fun song. So again, back to my criticism of this type of material. See how it breaks up? This was a solid piece when it was shipped. I assume it was a solid piece, and it's just kind of, yeah. Not a big fan of styrofoam unless you reinforce it with tape. So again, I'll just kind of show you inside of the case. There's a little cardboard insert down here that Robert probably cut out just as an extra little pad on the bottom to protect the inside of the case, but there's no extra padding. So again, taking out this tray on the side where you can put extra goodies is the right move, but then you build up a nice cocoon of padding around that Queen of Singers to give it a real nice cushy ride. Inside of here, outside of there, and then also inside of the case as well. So beautiful handle. See the class, especially with the 222Ks. Just a beautiful Bakelite style handle on here, which I think is even better than the leather ones because this one is not going to wear out. If you don't protect it, it can crack, but this is really, really going to be lasting. Just another suggestion. This type of tape is usually used for packaging. It's not something like a painter's tape that has a soft adhesive on it that doesn't leave a residue behind on the paint. I don't recommend this type of tape if you're putting extra cushion on the machine on the vulnerable parts like you've seen me do. Use a painter's tape, not this type of parcel tape on it, because it's going to leave an extra sticky residue on the machine that I'll have to carefully remove. So kind of creates a problem. Original owner's manual. Fabulous. And it's in English too. Very, very nice. Very nice. And notice Robert shipped it with a needle in the down position through the material so that that needle didn't get bent. Exactly what you want to be doing. And I'm obviously going to go through this machine with a surgical touch, but like the classy guy that he is, Robert also did a stitch off before the machine was shipped, and he shared this with me in photos so I could see the stitch quality. I'm not a big fan of red thread or yellow thread for that matter, but it really is laying down a very lovely stitch, at least on here. So so I'm only guessing that, but this is probably our spool pin cover right up here. Well, this is going to be the little tray holder inside of the case. And you can't see it, obviously, just by looking at it. But unlike the cases that are being made now with a similar type tray in it, which are made out of plastic, this is all metal. So again, just pointing back to why did they only make about 10,000 or so of these machines a year? Because everything about the 222K as the queen of singers needed to be absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. Ah, all the goodies. If you like attachments, I think Robert has every attachment that Singer ever made. Ooh, that is a hardcore free motion quilting foot. Look at that sucker. Very, very nice. Very nice. And I've got more attachments that I'll put with this machine as well. Okay, that one is empty. That should be empty. Oh, it's a zigzagger. This is a more compact version of the later zigzagger that Singer came out with. This one is not going to be like the full-blown zigzagger. I'll show you what I'm talking about. This is one that came out. It's all metal. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful attachment to have, especially if you love attachments. But it's going to be a little bit different than this one. That gives you all the cam options through a featherweight like this as well. This one is going to give you any of these decorative Christmas tree type and other ones as well. And I'll include one of these with this machine also. So you'll have a choice of two different type of zigzaggers to take what normally would be a straight stitch only machine and give it a huge amount of versatility in sewing output. Very, very nice. So this little screw, I think it was Thalia that had asked, what's the difference between the 222K and say a 221? When you loosen this little thumb screw right here, it allows you then to make this featherweight a free arm machine. So all of a sudden now you've got a world of opportunities for doing cuffs, hems, other things like that that you otherwise wouldn't have been able to do on a standard featherweight machine that has the tilt bed like this, but you're not able to slide it off and do that free arm type work with it as well. You can see how they engineered it. They basically made it a tubular slide design like this that would slide back over that free arm and lock back in place when you don't need access to a free arm type function. I'll set it right here. And here in the back, there is some scratching, but obviously this is going to be made museum quality by the time it goes up for sale. So brand new clear coat, and any scratching or anything like that on the machine will be eliminated. And this control right here, if you're not familiar with the 22Ks, the 222Ks, this lowers your feed dogs, is what this control does. Stitch length, tensioner for winding a bobbin. And then you can see starting in 1953 forward, they started adding this little plate to it, very much like you saw with that Class 1591 that I showed today earlier on a live stream. Because it was a 1953 model, it had this little plate in addition to the medallion badge mark. And the serial number for this featherweight is all the way over here. You can see it right there. I'm going to try to come in like this so you can read it. Actually going to kneel down for a second so I can. And then if someone wants to look it up, that would be super cool. So if one of the moderators would be so kind as to type this serial number into the live stream chat, and then whoever wants to look it up first and post the full birth date of this featherweight 222K, if you reach out to me after the live stream, I'll go ahead and send you something special for going through the effort of looking it up. Okay, so hopefully you've been able to write that down by now. You can see the motor right here. US American voltage, which is wonderful. The one that's European, instead of being 0.4 amps, is going to be 0.2 amps. Actually, I think it's 0.25 is what it comes out to be. So when you're looking at European motors versus American motors, they're going to have higher voltage coming through them, so the amperage goes down. So this is a 110. What is it actually rated at? Made in Great Britain. 110 to 120 volts with a 0.4 amp rating. The European equivalent to this on the featherweights will be a 0.25 amp with a 220 voltage. I believe it's 220 or 230. 220, 230 voltage. So I'll put it over here. I don't want to block the machine. So it's looking like the consensus is that this featherweight 222K has a birth date of October 21st, 1953. Now, I talk a lot about production group sizes. You guys have heard me talk about that numerous times. This production group size for this machine, as Emma and I think Paula as well typed into the chat, there were only 400 machines made. Only 400! Ah! 400 is crazy. I get excited when we have a machine on this workbench that has a production group size of 10,000, which is insane. In this production group, there were only 400 machines made. This is a unicorn right there. That's a unicorn. It's a little stiff. I'm not going to put that back on yet until I get some lubrication on there. I'll leave it kind of like that. The only thing about the 222K is because you're sliding this cylinder back into the shaft of the body on the machine, number one, you have to get it lined up just perfectly. And number two, you have to make sure that it's very, very clean, because the clearance underneath here going underneath the free arm is less than a millimeter. It's incredibly tight. So I'm going to leave it like that for right now, and then I'll do my magic to it after this live stream. Only 400 machines. That is absolutely crazy. Yeah, I've got to loosen that up a lot. We'll leave it separate for right now. Well, I'm going to look at the chat real quick to see if there's any questions. But this machine, again, came from a wonderful man, Robert, that is a serious VSM collector and has some very rare machines. Just decided it's time in life to start downsizing, and was looking at selling this after I got done doing the paint work and the mechanical, the electrical restore and everything. Instead, I just bought it from him straight away. So now I'm going to, as I work through the other machines that have to be done, which is a long line of machines, I'm going to try to fit this in. So if anyone has an interest in wanting to express a real strong desire to look at getting their mitts on this before it goes officially up for sale, basically to kind of pre-sell it as I've done with other machines, go ahead and reach out to me after the live stream. It's not going to be a cheap machine, but as I do with all of my customers, I offer a payment option, kind of a layaway option, where they can put down a deposit on a machine and then over a course of 120 days, pay it off. So you wouldn't have to come up with a full lump sum up. You would just have to, we'd have to talk about the deposit amount, and then we could work together in paying off the balance in full so that the machine can then be shipped to you. So yeah. And you know what? I'll even include the card that Robert sent with it, because I think that that's a neat thing to accompany the machine, don't you? Along with the original owner's manual and all the other goodies. And I always add additional goodies to it as well. So you'll see that happen. Actually, I already did. Yeah, that's going to go with this machine as well. Yeah, cool. So that's unboxing number one. We're going to do another unboxing tomorrow night, either box number 2 or box number 1. I'm really kind of curious to see, or I shouldn't say see because I already know. I'm really curious to unveil box number, is it 2? Yeah, I think it's number 2. Yep, box number 2 from London, England. Now, can you imagine how many service and repair shops there are in the UK, right? How many service and repair shops there are in the UK, and then if you go from the UK all the way to the United States, how many repair shops there are in between. And I am just greatly honored that Adam is the gentleman's first name, shipped his machine all the way from the UK, London, England, to the workshop in Oconto for me to give it the workshop magic. That is really an honor. Really cool. All right, let me move this. Great. Well, if you want to continue chatting among yourselves, also I'll see if I can get a little bit closer and give you another look at this 222K. And again, this machine will receive brand new clear coat. So it is going to be dazzling. I should probably include a pair of sunglasses with the machine, because what you're seeing right now is a fairly shiny bed is nothing. You guys saw that featherweight I sent out to California? That's how this machine will look when I'm done with it. Very nice. Very nice. Very, very nice. As big as a workbench looks, it's just never big enough. Oh, I see what it is. I got one of my magnetic trays. Yeah, here we go. Well, this machine is from Scotland, not from Mexico or Spain, but hey, this is our ending song. Yeah, so if you know, sing along, would you? I've got to catch up on saying hello to folks. I said hello to Emma. I said hello to Dr. T. Hello, Michelle. I said hello to Roz, but hello to Roz again. Musica. Kristen's Mixed Media. That's fun to say. Welcome to Kristen with the Mixed Media. That's awesome. Welcome to Kevin and Doreen and to Paula. I'm scrolling and scrolling and scrolling because you guys were chatting so much, which is fabulous. I love it when you guys get into the chat mode. It's cool. Now I just have to scroll through and see if there's anyone else I have to say hello to. So also a hello to TWKJG Twig. Looks like Twig something. Cool. I didn't know where Twig is from, but welcome. Julianne creates. Welcome as well. Welcome, 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 welcome. I think I said hello to everybody. I think I did. I hope I did. Hello also to NDOVG, Navig. I'm probably totally saying that wrong. NDOVG. Hey. And also, we had one that looks like it's in Arabic near the very beginning. Hello again to Joelle. I think I got everybody. If I missed somebody, I'm very sorry. But you guys were just chatting up a storm. I had to scroll and scroll and scroll just to find those. All right. Well, watch for another live stream tomorrow for box number 2 and box number 1. All right. I'm going to set this down. I'll put all this back together. Yeah. All right. I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream, but you can continue chatting for a while. It doesn't time out right away if you want to. Cool. All right. I haven't played harmonica in a while, a long time.